Greetings everyone, bonsoir, moi c'est Alexandra Jean-Joseph, and today we honor the philosophy and the spirit of our founding father, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Jodi a nap honoré Papa Dessalines avec danse banda, qui te yon nan danse li pi reme. It is a dance of life and a dance of joy. Bonne fête, Papa Dessalines.
Kedenimbo imanonse ase on agoe. Kedenimbo imanonse ase on agoe. C'est les wayou, mon d'arriver, 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 c'est les wayou, mon d'arriver.
We are the seeds. We are the seeds they meant to plant. Make way for the new ancestors. One life ends, another begins.
Oh, la maison. Oh, la maison. Si c'est grand monde qui l'a, m'a entré. Si c'est grand monde qui l'a, m'a entré. Si c'est tout monde qui l'a, m'a viré d'eau malé. Si c'est tout monde qui l'a, m'a viré d'eau malé. Si c'est tout monde qui l'a.
Welcome. Nous comptons, well. Bienvenue. Nous connaissons, nous là pour nous célébrer, pour nous jam, pour nous donner une grosse force, un gros pouvoir, une équipe qu'on accomplit, pour nous ramasser énergie, force, pouvoir, accomplissement. Welcome. We are here to celebrate this fabulous guy who was at the head of an army that whipped 3 armies, Spanish, British, and French, in order to give Haiti independence. We're here to celebrate him so we can connect and capture the energy of strength, courage, power, determination, so we can put our earth on the right trail. Welcome. Nous comptons well. N'a salué drapeau li te ban nou. Bon, nous tentons l'ambi rassemblement qui dit nous sembler force yo, sembler énergie nous pour nous faire ça nous besoin faire. Nous te fait déjà nous ka faire encore. Yes. The conch sounded to tell us, come on, get together, put your strength together. Just like the ant. See how tiny they are? But if they have to carry a cow, any kind of animal, any kind of anything, they examine the weight and then bring the number of ant necessary to carry it away. We are never weak. We just have to learn to put whatever we have together in order to get the work done. So let's see what some of our people in Africa, what are they saying about celebrating this strength, this powerhouse, this life power who was nourished with millenniums of memories. Let's listen to what our brothers and sisters in Africa have to say. An koute sa ti moun yo, ou pi moun yo en Afrique, ki sa yo di sou Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
Au thème en Bolani, nous disons merci à Papa Dessalines, le général noir, pour sa lutte pour la justice et de la paix. Honneur à toi, Papa Dessalines, que ton énergie enveloppe l'Afrique et l'accompagne. Merci, Akiba, tes enfants depuis le Gabon.
This is Dr. Ya Elombe. I am here in Cartagena, Colombia, and I want to say happy birthday to the founder, the general, and the emperor of Haiti. Happy birthday, Papa Dessalines. When we honor you, we honor ourselves. Thank you, thank you. Continue to protect and bless us. Happy birthday.
Good morning, Hotep. This is Professor James Small, and I'm joining the Felicite Foundation in the African world in wishing our great Emperor and Liberator, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, a happy 265th birthday, Earth Day. Thank you, Emperor, for being among us and for coming to us, and we pray that the ancestors allow you to continue to guide us in our struggle for freedom. We, in your words, say, liberty or death, freedom or death. Thank you, beloved Emperor. We love you still.
Ah, wow. Oui, nous sommes des Gabon, Cartagena, et en Amérique, d'ailleurs, qui dit, Baba James Small, dit nous l'a parlé pour toute l'Afrique, parce que toute l'Afrique qui est intéressée à sa fête là. We are very, very, very happy that our people all over the world are with us celebrating this powerhouse of life. Let's continue and see what else is happening.
Sou Camai Freire, do Brasil, e estou comemorando a sabedoria e a força de Ori do general Jean-Jacques Dessalines, que levou Haiti à independência. Estou muito feliz de me conectar com vocês e aumentar o meu discernimento e a minha inspiração dentro dessa celebração. Imperador Jacques, desfrute um fabuloso 265º ano de força da terra, com poder. Enquanto o Senhor e os nossos ancestrais nutrem Haiti para que ela possa recuperar a sua visão e determinação de liberdade e prosperidade para todos os seus filhos. Axéu, Ireu.
Bolo Hotep à tous, hommage et respect à notre libérateur, l'empereur Jean-Jacques Dessalines, que son énergie continue à nous inspirer et à nous accompagner, qu'elle continue à faire de nous des hommes et des femmes combatifs et décomplexés. Bonne célébration et bonne commémoration à tous. Kadi Asumuela du Gabon.
We're celebrating the 265th Earthstrong Day for Dessalines,
the founders of Haiti. Cheer, Papa Dessalines!
Dessalines! Go ahead! ¡Feliz cumpleaños, ¡Feliz cumpleaños de Cartagena!
Ah oui, nous, ouais, Gabon, Haïti, États-Unis, Congo, passé à saluer libérateur Haïti, qui en fait, dès pour libérer, si nous comprenons bien, nous pas gagné nous un monde esclavage tout partout. Tout peuple noir, tout peuple rouge, tout peuple rouge là, il mangé génocide. Tout peuple jaune, tout en bas code. En bas, tout en bas code. Tout a subi esclavage sous une forme ou bon l'autre. Et puis, ti Haïti, ti zile ça. Levé campé, l'écraser l'armée espagnole, l'armée britannique, l'armée française, il décréter indépendance. Eh bien, donc, fait ça. C'est tout donné monde qui vire tête en bas. Il change. Avec tout noir, ces esclaves là, bah, ça mourit là pour là. C'est ça pour nous comprendre. Donc, mouvement qui est fait en Haïti en 1790 à 1820 Son mouvement te défié, Jean monde lan t'établi. Donc c'est tout le monde qui te bénéficié dans un sens ou dans l'autre. Et c'est pour ça où aujourd'hui les gens commencent à comprendre l'histoire Haïti. Paquet moun a dit merci Haïti. Merci. Faut songer tout. Les nous par exemple brésiliens, colombiens, vénézuéliens. C'est parce que Haïti te voyé te bay l'argent, li bay zam, li bay bateau, li bay moun pour al goumer aider au goumer pour yo vin libre. Soit les Quito par exemple, statut de Dessalines, c'est 24 sur 24. Oui, militaire a bay statut de Dessalines. Sécurité, statut, oui. Statut. Donc, sous comprendre qui est souillé, qui moun yé, qui sa identité ou yé comme haïtien. Identité ou, c'est pas ça que fait. C'est pas ça que fait. C'est pas fait sous terre que fait. C'est connaissance essence l'histoire. C'est comprendre. C'est 4 éléments essentiels qui fabriquent en tant qu'haïtien. Liberté, justice, prospérité, pouvoir. Attention, l'aime dit justice, nous devons dire santé. Parce que santé biologique, son justice liée. Et santé sociale, c'est justice du relève. Donc, songez. Identité, c'est liberté, justice, santé, prospérité, pouvoir. C'est 4 éléments qui fait où c'est haïtien. On continue d'écouter, on continue d'écouter. Qui ça yo gagne pour nous? Qui l'autre moun y a présenté nous? Et si yo dit oh, eh ben m'a profité, m'a tourné sous dans slant te l'ouvri dossier. Dessalines, tout le monde parlait de grands militaires, gros stratèges, gros visionnaires. Oui, c'est vrai. Mais faut nous dire tous son grand danseur. Tout le monde qui écrit sous lui dans la période li dou, c'est lui qui est plus grand danseur dans la période li. Pas grand danse li pas kon danser. Mais là nous réfléchis, qui ça danser? Est-ce que danser c'est juste brasser on virer quoi sous musique? Non. Là nan essence compréhension danse. Danse, c'est contrôle espace par mouvement. C'est ça qu'on fait. Plus ou gen contrôle, qui mouvement ou mette son espace, plus ou son fin danser. Et sous son fin danser, ou son fin militaire. Militaire, qui a occupé espace, qui a fait stratégie pour prendre territoire, yo pas gen droit par contre danser. C'est là nous pas comprendre on pile bagaille. Même bagaille là tout. Dessalines sont fin cuisinier, il qu'on fait manger, depuis il fait manger pour 3000, 4000, 5000 membres troupe li. Et tout le monde content manger. Ça fait manger aille. Fait manger ou mettre un paquet de bagailles différents ensemble dans seul chaudier pour le bar un bagaille extraordinaire toute bouche remè. Son gros bagaille. Donc, nous dans une société injuste, yo méprisé un paquet de métiers. Mais si nous te gen bon comprendre, moun gap fait manger pour moi. Puis pendant m'a dit ça, m'a tout dit Marlène qui a préparé pour nous dans Fondation Félicité. Merci. Gerda, merci. S'amuse, merci. Oui. Donc, c'est dans l'on a analysé essence tout ça monsieur ça a fait et n'a gardé l'ina toute forme Noël l'a accompli. Donc danser a pas ton danser pour danser. D'ailleurs, je vais demander Euphémie Dagui, femme au Caille, un chorégraphe. Il va demander, he's gonna ask Euphémie Dagui. Sometimes I forget, I have to use both languages. he asked Femi Dagi from Okai to create a dance because he was being so criticized because he goes with his weapon on a dance floor, and that was not the protocol. So he says, create us a dance that you dance with weapons. Problem solved. That's why you see the genius of the guy, the visionary. And so we have that in our blood. We are capable of being visionaries, of solving problems. Nothing is impossible. When you say impossible, possible is there. So look for it. There is no problem that has no solution. And oppressors cannot bring solutions to problems they create. We have to embody our ability to envision the world we want. And we must make it happen. Are we ready for the next element?
Mwen, ou di Stanley Pen, ki soti Marigo nan departement sud-est Haïti, m vle souhaite Général Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Liberator Haïti, papa nation nou, yon 265e l'année foste ki puissant en pile. Pa gen Dessalines sans Haïti, pa gen Haïti sans Dessalines. Nap kontinue fete Dessalines tout tan gen tan. Li met se yon gren haïtien ki rete sou la terre. Nap fete Dessalines. Tout autant moun ka pale de liberté, nap fete Dessalines. Dessalines, c'est tout tan gen tan. Kouè Félix Morisseau le roi ta di, et même Jean tout haïtien ta ka di. Merci, papa Dessalines.
Well, nous faisons s'entendre ou dit Stanley Pen, you Haitian, Haitian guy who was for a number of years a fine volunteer at Fondation Félicité and wrote his first book while using the documentary at Fondation Félicité. So thank you, Pen. Well, what is, I mentioned a little while ago, 4 elements to our identity. First one is liberty, freedom. What is freedom? Are you free when you have no control as to what you eat? And therefore, you have no control as to how healthy you will be. Are you free if you cannot communicate to the universe, to Mother Nature, or the divine in your own way? Are you free? Are you free if you are in a society that makes you feel the way you look is not good? Your this or that is too big. Are you free? Are you free if you cannot choose where you live? What kind of housing you live in? Question what you are calling freedom today. Are you free if you go to schools that don't teach you about your own history? Are you free if you're reading history books, tons of them, and not a single woman is mentioned? Are you free? We need to seriously evaluate and define freedom for ourselves, because freedom is the primary, the number one essential pillar of our identity. Freedom, liberté. Nous obligés questionner, définir, travail, mot liberté, ça, faut qu'on connaisse bien, concept liberté, faut travailler. Sou pas qu'à manger, so penser bon pour vous. Ou prend par exemple en pile dans pays nous yo interdit yo planter. Ou bien si pour planter, si pour faire l'agriculture, c'est ça blanc d'où planter, c'est ça pour planter. Mais pas ça que fait nous qui ban nous la santé. Haïtien par exemple, faut que nous manger vive. We have to eat something called vive, foods that grown underground. That's an essential part of our diet. When we're out of the country, we can't find it for the most part. Donc, faut gen liberté pour faire agriculture ou vle faire. Faut gen liberté pour santé ou, c'est nan men ou lié. Faut gen liberté pour l'éducation petit tout fait, j'en doit fait selon qui koton yé et qui l'histoire nan mou ap charrier. Liberté. Réfléchis sous li. Concept, définition. An gade qui ça yo gen pour nous encore, qui l'autre ça y a ban nous. T'as espéré, si nous vivons côté, nous besoin doublon bagay, son petit morceau dans danse là qui pour ta reparaître. Li net reparaître plusieurs fois. Parce que dans cela est important. Nous t'ai fait toute diligence. Aujourd'hui, choix vin danser dans la cour, félicité. Mais nous avons pile difficulté pour contact internet là, pour nous capables jouir ça qu'a fait dans la cour, félicité. Mais nous continuons à faire effort. Peut-être avant de finir là, nous avons nos chances. Nous connaissons, ils ont monté drapeau déjà. En nous, qui ça y a ban nous encore?
Badagri pral bale aria so geme. Badagri pral bale aria so geme. Aïe bobo.
Ayo.
Gratitude. 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 Son Excellence Jacques Ier, c'est normal, il est normal que nous puissions te dire notre gratitude, notre reconnaissance 1000 fois. Mais aujourd'hui, en ces temps difficiles, nous voulons d'abord que tu ailles chercher le général de brigade, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, général des armées, vainqueur de nos ennemis. Papa Dessalines, Papi Dessalines, nous, tes arrière-petits-fils et petites-filles, on vient demander ton esprit, ton énergie, ton esprit de guerrier, ton esprit de combattant, ton esprit de stratège, ton esprit de vainqueur et ton esprit de libérateur. Car les temps sont venus. Tu nous as aidés une première fois à casser les chaînes de nos pieds et de nos mains. Aujourd'hui, aux quatre coins de l'univers, nous avons besoin de casser les chaînes de nos têtes, de notre mental et à affronter notre ennemi. Il n'a pas changé, c'est le même et tu le connais mieux que quiconque. Aujourd'hui, viens nous commander, viens devant nous, ramène avec toi tous tes bataillons, tous les bataillons de tes aînés, tous les bataillons de tes cadets. Venez aujourd'hui épauler tous les panafricanistes, tous les camis partout dans le monde, et en particulier au Mali, au Burkina Faso, au Niger, au Centrafrique et dans tous les endroits sur cette terre où nous sommes aux prises avec nos ennemis, pour que nous ayons une fois encore la victoire, la libération, liberté,
Liberté.
liberté,
Liberté.
liberté,
Liberté.
vive Papa Dessalines,
Vive Papa Dessalines.
vive Papa Dessalines,
Vive Papa Dessalines.
haché,
Haché.
haché,
Haché.
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 Hotep, la famille.
Ogu badagri pral bale la ria so jeme badagri pral bale la ria so jeme. Ah, quel plaisir! Une Ivoirienne qui chante Ogu badagri pral bale la ria. Ah, elle est temps. Faut papa Ogu vin fait balayage là, faut rentrer dans nous chaque et pas chita ton ni non. C'est chaque monde réveiller badagri ou en dedans. Prends balé ou pour nous balé la ria. Ogu badagri pral bale la ria so jeme. Moi c'est Gabon nous pral nan de kounya. I think we're going to listen to Gabon is going to express themselves now. Let's listen.
Hotep, la famille, moi c'est Abbé Solo, Camille sans frontières de la commune du peuple Camp. Je viens aujourd'hui faire honneur à notre général Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Je viens également faire honneur à notre empereur Jacques Ier. À Santé Sana pour tout ce que vous avez fait pour nous. Nous espérons que votre esprit va continuer à nous habiter. Et je me rappelle de cette phrase en disant: nous avons osé être libres, osons l'être par nous-mêmes et pour nous-mêmes. À Santé Sana, Aïbobo, Akiba, Nala.
Honneur et respect à toi. Respect à toi, Papa Dessalines. Que ton cas soit vivifié. Reçois cette lumière en ce jour de ta naissance. Merci pour ta vie. Merci pour l'héritage de liberté, d'autodétermination et de foi inébranlable en notre peuple. Que ton feu brûle en chacun de nous, enfants de Mère Afrique, enfants de Kama dispersés dans le monde, pour que nous puissions rétablir l'ordre et la justice dans nos pays. Célébrons notre ancêtre, Papa Dessalines. Haché, haché, haché. Je suis Ablé de Côte d'Ivoire.
Eh oui, n'a besoin un paquet de figures qui a dit main des salines. C'est normal. Chaque artiste senti en dedans, li senti longeant. Donc, li fait. Par exemple, moi-même, toute information que des salines, pas jamais gen moustache. Mais moi, trois artistes toujours bas moustache. Eh bien, moustache dans période ça, te vle di pouvoir. On comprend pour qui ça yo toujours fait ça. Mais nous pas prendre représentation pour nous dire oui, mais qui Jean, mais qui salté. Non. Bien que nous t'a doué gagner, faut me dire non. Dessalines te fait faire, elle t'a habité Saint-Marc. When Dessalines lived in Saint-Marc, he had a painting, a full-size portrait of himself painted on a wall in his living room. And around him, all around him, is our people. The people were all over. And then there was Dessalines in the center. The size he was, the dimension, without changing, he wanted it to be exactly as he is. On the opposite wall, in that same living room, he had from Alexander the Greek to Napoleon. And he says the reason he had all these dominators, colonizers, enslavers on the other wall lined up this way. So when he punches Napoleon, he will start by punching Alexander. And then that punch will be a domino effect. The punch will crush Napoleon. So that's the mindset of this man. He did not just see, he was not just looking at Napoleon. He sang Kofa. He turned back and looked at the root of that behavior that Napoleon was showing, that colonizing behavior. So, and he decided that he had to go back there and punch that one first in order to crush Napoleon. When we are fighting against somebody, si na boumé contre moun, nous pas apprendre à étudier sans kofa, qu'on racine ni, qu'on côté comportement sorti, et puis pour n'attaquer depuis nan racine, c'est même genre comme maladie. Son malade ou pas qu'on cause maladie. Ou pas jamais qu'à traiter. So, same thing is true in life. If you want to cure a disease, you must go back to the root of it. A historical disease, a social disease, a biological disease, all have to be treated by first saying Kofa. Turn back, get to the root, study the root, know the root, then you'll know the medicine. Oh, good.
Good morning, Hotep. This is Professor James Small, and I'm joining the Felicite Foundation and the African world in wishing our great Emperor and Liberator, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, a happy 265th birthday, Earth Day. Thank you, Emperor, for being among us and for coming to us, and we pray that the ancestors allow you to continue to guide us in our struggle for freedom. We, in your words, say, liberty or death, freedom or death. Thank you, beloved Emperor. We love you still.
Hey, this was Baba James Small. Well, anyone who usually look at Baina and Friends know that he is often my guest on Baina and Friends, and that he and I have a very good relationship. We share a lot of the philosophy and aspiration of our people, and we both believe in the planetary family. That means when there's a problem in Mali, it's my problem. When there's a problem in Congo, it's my problem. I am not limited to just looking for what's wrong or what needs correction in Haiti. I look at our people throughout the world, on our planet, Earth, everywhere. And that's the pleasure that we have, is that whatever we can do to help everywhere we go, that's our duty. And we're glad to do it. So let's continue our celebration. Let's continue to collect energy. Let's continue to pick up on that Dessalinian energy. The energy that has courage, the energy that brings discipline, the energy that brings vision, the energy that brings determination. L'on wap ramase énergie Dessalines nan, wap ramase vision, courage, discipline, détermination, ou pa peur Personne va faire paix. L'organe pour régler mission, ou faire plan, sous tomber aujourd'hui, ou lever pita, ou recommencer demain. C'est comme ça nous bouler. Jouk nous arriver sous la victoire. Parce que mission nous, c'est arriver sous victoire. Quitter victoire pour ti moun yo. Quitter la victoire. C'est ça. Nous pas gain 3, nous pas gain 10 missions. Et nous connaissons tout. Identité nous faite avec liberté, santé, justice, prospérité, pouvoir. Sous ces haïtiens, on travaille sur 4 éléments. Ça, c'est ça respirer, c'est ça boire, c'est ça manger. Et pas personne. On voit qui ça y gagne pour nous encore.
Otep à toi, Djambo à toi, papa Dessalines. Je t'envoie ce message aujourd'hui pour te dire merci. Merci pour tout ce que tu as fait pour nous, pour tout ce que tu as fait à Haïti, mais pour tout ce que tu as fait pour tout le peuple noir, pour tout le peuple africain, par-dessus les mers, par-dessus les terres, sur l'ensemble de la planète. Merci pour la sueur que tu as versée. Merci pour le sang que tu as versé. Merci pour tout ce que tu as donné pour qu'à nouveau les Africains, qu'ils soient sur le continent ou qu'ils soient à Haïti, dans la Caraïbe ou aux Amériques, soient debout. Nous n'oublierons jamais et nous allons continuer le travail que tu as commencé. Donne-nous l'inspiration, donne-nous la force, donne-nous la détermination de continuer ton travail pour qu'à nouveau les Africains puissent compter dans ce monde. Pour qu'à nouveau les Africains puissent être unis dans ce monde. Nous allons travailler pour que l'Afrique, Haïti, soit réunie et que nous puissions enfin redevenir le peuple numéro 1 dans le monde. Nous allons travailler pour qu'il y ait une académie Jean-Jacques Dessalines en Afrique, une académie militaire Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Nous allons travailler pour qu'il y ait un sous-marin Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Nous allons travailler pour qu'il y ait des missiles Jean-Jacques Dessalines qui vont protéger tes enfants pour des générations et des générations. Encore une fois, merci papa Dessalines et la lutte continue. À santé. C'était Abiola du territoire qu'on appelle temporairement Côte d'Ivoire.
Merci, merci. Oh, I was reading all these wonderful things that some of you are saying to us. Thank you so much. Merci en pile. Tout le monde qui a participé, tout le monde qui a mis comme commentaire, all those who are commenting, thank you so much. Merci en pile, en pile, en pile. Parce que c'est comme ça nous coller énergie. Voyons parole pour vous, voyons parole pour moi. Des paroles yo contraires. Li construit une force. Et les en pile force met ensemble, nous font pouvoir. On nous fait ça. On nous prend tête nous au sérieux. Let's take ourselves seriously and deal seriously with things. Speak words that matter. Stay away from a lot of the nonsensical talk. Let's build energy. Let's build force. Let's build power so we can do, for example, what Abiola told us a little while ago. Create, how many of us are thinking in those terms? We need to create a submarine, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Yes, we must. Every form of defense that is necessary. We must not play with that. The enemy is not playing. The enemy's got everything. He's got enough nuclear bomb to blow up the earth more than 100 times. What have you got? At least you should have your word. Because with your word, you could do a lot of things if you took yourself seriously. Même si vous n'avez pas une bombe nucléaire, mais si mot, parole qui saute dans la bouche, bien réfléchi, bien contrôlé, li bien aligné avec nan avec pensée, et puis vous mettez action qui marche avec ça. Rien, pensée, parole, action, ou plus façon bombe nucléaire. Prends tête au sérieux. Au goût pas d'agri, pral balé la ria so jeme. Oh, merci Merioku to bring this song to us all the way from Ivory Coast. Merci en pile. Thank you very much. Au goût badagri, pral balé la ria so jeme. Badagri, pral balé la ria so jeme. On allait, on allait, on allait.
I am Cecilia Lisa Eliseche, mother of Toya, celebrating the bravery and courage of General Jean-Jacques Dessalines from Haiti, looking joyfully forward to tapping into him to increase my discipline and vision. Have a merry, blessed, Earthstrong 265th year, starting September 20th this year. Salve, Papa Dessalines.
Otep, Otep, Otep. Ce petit message pour honorer la mémoire de notre héros, le libérateur Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Qu'il reste une source d'inspiration pour nous tous et qu'il nous aide à faire émerger d'autres nouveaux petits Dessalines avec toute sa puissance. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude pour son œuvre et bonne commémoration à tous. Makeda Viscero du Togo.
Django la famille, bonne fête, bonne célébration à tous les frères et sœurs d'Haïti. Honneur et gloire au général Jean-Jacques Dessalines et que son esprit, son énergie soit plus que jamais avec nous sur la terre mère en ces temps de lutte, ces temps de révolution, et que son énergie accompagne tous les soldats, tous les frères et sœurs, et que vraiment nous soyons fortifiés par son énergie. Encore bonne fête, bonne célébration à tous et à toutes, et à bientôt. C'est la sœur Ayaba depuis la Côte d'Ivoire.
Et thank you. Merci, merci Ayaba. Et merci Cecilia, qui depuis, alors moi-même j'en dis toujours les frontières coloniales dénommées Argentine. C'est comme ça toujours fait référence à pays. Frontières coloniales dénommées Argentine. Et Cecilia, c'est comment il est, son mélange des Mapucha, du peuple Mapucha, et qui sont chorégraphes, qui fait plusieurs chorégraphies sous Jean-Jacques Dessalines dans différents pays. Et son monde qui est passionné d'histoire d'Haïti et nous apprécions contribution dans ça n'a fait aujourd'hui. En fait, nous apprécions contribution tout le monde. Alexandra, Jean-Joseph qui font une présentation extraordinaire. Merioku, tout le monde qui participait. Et puis tout l'autre monde qui n'ont pas poué, toute volontaire qui a monté descendre non la rue drôle dans Port-au-Prince. Les Émile, les Guéchine, les Jessica. Merci, merci, merci en pile. ak tout lot yo, jen jan, kap goumen, nous disons merci. Tout le monde qui a préparé, tout le monde qui a déplacé, vini célébrer dans la fondation, nous dit merci. Et quand vous mairie au coup, te rappelez nous, gratitude, son bagage qui est important, faut ne pas chamblier, remercier chaque monde pour chaque ça vous fait. Pour tout ça, même ça vous te intention fait. Okay? It's very, very important. Gratitude is extremely important. We must constantly take the time. The reason I can appear as, I'm doing so great and I know all about technology, that's not true. It's because of Claudia and Kwesi. They're handling everything. They're making me look good. They are carrying on, spending nights up, handling all kinds of things. And when there is something to buy, they quickly go ahead and do it. Oh, speaking of buying, we must also say, I must say it publicly, the volunteers at Fondation Félicité, who really don't have very little means, I was stunned when they were asking they wanted to paint an area of the Fondation because it wasn't in good shape. And the next thing I hear, they put money together, bought the paint, and did the painting themselves. So thank you, because I say, no, Dessalines can't be coming here and find a place like that. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. All the volunteers at Fondation Félicité. Merci, merci en pile. Ogou badagri pral bale la ria so jeme. Badagri pral bale la ria so jeme. The words say, Ogou badagri is going to be sweeping the streets. So jeme. I swear it will happen. Badagri is going to be sweeping the streets. There's too much dirt around. So, yes, that's a perfect song to bring in now. Oh, Badagri, so merci, Marioku, to remind us. Mario was in Haiti more than, 3-4 years ago? And that's when she learned that song. And now she's bringing it back to us. Wonderful. Thank you. Merci en pile, Mary.
Otep, Jambo, Mbolo, ce petit message, c'est pour la commémoration de notre ancêtre, l'empereur Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Papa Dessalines, tu nous as montré la voie de la justice, car sans justice, il n'y a point de liberté. Papa Dessalines, que ton énergie habite en chacun de nous, filles et fils de Kama, d'Haïti, de Guadeloupe, Martinique et de tout territoire où l'on trouve l'un des nôtres. Aucune liberté ne se quémande si elle est confisquée. Il faut l'arracher. Asante Sana, Akiba, pour ton combat, pour la voie que tu as tracée, dessinée pour les suivants. Gloire et honneur à toi, éternellement. Bonne célébration à tous. Je suis Ningon Neferet du peuple Ekan du Gabon.
Peace, family. My name is Jeremiah Owusu Koromora. I'm here gathered with you today in full support of Fondation Félicité, and we are here on this special day to commemorate the birth and indelible achievements of Jean-Jacques Dessalines, the first founding father of Haiti, the first free established African empire in the Western Hemisphere. The pillar, the freedom, the strength, wisdom, and dignity. Although born into slavery, Dessalines emerged not just as a revolutionary, but as a beacon of liberty, vision, resistance for all oppressed people near and abroad. His military prowess during the revolution of Haiti was nothing short of extraordinary. But what really set him apart was his unyielding commitment to the abolition of slavery and the expulsion of white supremacy on the island of Saint-Domingue, leading to the rise of the Empire of Haiti. It was Dessalines who declared Haiti's independence in 1804, shattering the chains of colonialism and setting the precedent for liberation in all the movements of the world. Jean-Jacques Dessalines has taught us that freedom is not a gift bestowed by the oppressor, but a right to be fought for by the oppressed. His legacy reminds us that the struggle for justice, equality, and human dignity is one that continues today. As we honor his memory today, let us commit ourselves to continue the fight, to uphold the values he stood for, and to ensure that the same spirit that he bestowed lives on through us for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Merci. Merci en pile. Merci tout à Neferet qui fait nous songer. Enfin, tous les deux moun sa eux, en fait, on t'a dit c'est une des bon côté l'autre, mais des pays différents bien loin. Et Neferet du Gabon et notre frère qui vit aux États-Unis, qui tous les deux dit nous, ils fait nous songer. Liberté, yo pas bay ça en cadeau. Oppressé pas jamais fò cadeau liberté. Sou elle douce ça l'a fait, sou elle écrit la bon cadeau qu'on est un piège la donne, li pas liberté vrai. Both of them reminded us that freedom is never given away by oppressors. And I add, if you were to find an oppressor who says, I'm going to give you independence, I'm going to give you freedom, know that within the agreement, there is all kinds of tricks and chains to tie you up, which is the case of 14 West African countries, so-called independent, but all their money is in France. Their justice, their this and their that is handled by France till now. So, let's learn the lesson. Liberté, c'est prend ou prend ça. C'est Rachel, l'elle confisqué. Ou pas négocier liberté. On y est, l'offre fait une série de mouvements, ou gain espace, ou cas, font-ils parler, ou cas, fait une négociation. Mais liberté, c'est prend pour prendre. Personne ne va pas baouer. Donc, that was a good reminder. We cannot wait. We cannot always be begging. No. In every situation, we must be absolutely determined about what we want to do. And we must know that we must. Look, even a child. Même ou maman qui enceinte, les petits moun nan pare pour le fait, ti moun nan pa di, mami chérie, font ti coucher, bon fait pas bon ti passer. Non. Bébé a dit, jodi a m'a sorti. Maman tombere l'amre. Parce que toute bataille, ti moun nan bataille pour le prendre liberté. Bay maman doule. That's the fact. Even a newborn child, when it's time for the child to be birthed, the child does not say, Mommy, please, let me come, allow me. No, the child starts to fight to find its way to the sun. It's freedom. If the child takes it, the child does not beg for it. The child does not negotiate for it. Take the lesson. Let's go on and see what else they've got for us. Ogubadagri balbalelaria sojeme. Badagri balbalelaria sojeme.
Et Haïti, moi content célébrer avec Fondation Félicité naissance Papa Nanchon, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. M'a célébré bravo avec discipline pendant moi-même tout célébrer là, m'a renforcer capacité, détermination avec courage. L'Empire Jacques, moi souhaité pour passer en 265e force la terre dans la joie pendant même avec ancêtre nous aider nous reprendre force nous courage nous pays à capable vivre dans la prospérité nous t'es toujours voulu. Bonne fête Papa Dessalines.
N'a célébré 265 années force Papa Dessalines.
Hi everyone, my name is Oluwatobi Adelisi from Nigeria. I'm a Yoruba man who's possibly from Dahomey Kingdom, just like our ancestors Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who we are celebrating today. And this video is to celebrate the 265th Earthstrong of Jean-Jacques Dessalines, our great ancestor, our great warrior, our great liberator, and the man and the ancestor, responsible for the liberation of the people of the African people of Haiti. And we want to celebrate the bravery, the courage, the discipline, and everything Jean-Jacques Dessalines possesses, and we all have Jean-Jacques Dessalines within ourselves. So we need to tap into our Jean-Jacques Dessalines power, spiritually, physically, and mentally, so that we can become liberators, so that we can fight against the oppression against us, against African people globally, and empower ourselves. And we have to do this strategically, just as Jean-Jacques Dessalines did. So this is a happy birthday, happy Earthstrong. Happy 265th Earthstrong to Jean-Jacques Dessalines, our ancestor. Peace and love.
Thank you from UK. Our brother sent his comment, and we appreciate the contribution. Okay, we have to also mention, actually, Dessalines' birthday is an opportunity for Fondation Félicité to also raise funds. And as you know, situation is particularly difficult, and the Fondation is still surviving thanks to the volunteers who don't give up, who continue to fight, who, if they have to dash out, run away from bullets from this, that, or the other at any particular moment, they do just that. But then they come back and they return and they work and they advance the work of Fondation Félicité. Again, we say thank you. And again, we ask you to help us to continue to do this work. Fondation Félicité has 5 areas of intervention in Haiti. The first one is with people that are 100 years and more. And there is no such thing as they have a pension or they get something to help them, whatever. There is none. So the Fondation, when we identify them, very often they are very lucid. They have all their minds. We learn a lot from them because they could tell us what happened. And Fondation does try to help whenever she can, whenever there are means to do so. Of course, we do research on Earthstrong, research on techniques of teaching and training that are appropriate for our people. We investigate proper content, because teaching our children Christopher Columbus, blah, 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 that's garbage. It does nothing for our children. So proper content for our children, because what you learn in school is supposed to make you be more of who you are. Or if it's conditioning, it will reduce the who you are. So we work on research, we develop techniques of methods of teaching. Um, we do encourage young people to go into entrepreneurship, so they are not everybody is coming out of school and going to look for a job with the government. They have to have a certain mindset in order for them to be able to create an enterprise and make it work. So these are some of the things that the Foundation does. Of course, we Foundations publish books. We produce, for example, Baina and Friends is a production of Fondation Félicité. So we do we do work. We do strive to find what we need without going to enemies for what it is, for what is necessary. And we have to think again of the ant, tiny little ant. And yet the ant is able to pick up a mouse or a rat if it has to, because the ant knows how to put what they have together and build forces, create power. You see, many times, I don't know, this week, somebody was saying, oh, you have 25,000 people on Instagram. I said, well, yes, but if we were to ask these 25,000 people to each donate $10, $5, would they? Or is it just a matter of clicking? But it's not about, I heard what she said. What she says resonate in me, and I want to participate in the work that is being done. That's a totally different attitude. So that's the number that we are interested in. We want to meet the people who want to help us do the work we have to do, want to help us accomplish our mission. I'm counting on you. Take great care. Okupa dagri pal balilari so jame badagri pal balilari so jame.
265 l'année déjà, Jambé au fait plus présent. Celle non, tout menté tranquillité malveillant, agamant tout coulé, complice bataille dépamant, qui te pensé déchiquer tes corps, lapidéo, éteindre lumière, te kamé tes rêves bien étoudéo. Et ce qu'on brille pété dans l'ennemi, tout tracasse d'eau, toute stratégie échouée contre yo virio. Vaudou vi, te a capiti, kae la capiti, mais tel opéré à solide.
All right, this gives you a little bit of what's happening in the yard right now in Fondation Félicité's yard. So as you see, the children are dancing to a music called Défilé, and it's a carnival song that came out in 2008 for Dessalines' 250th birthday. So that means what, 16 years ago? And that song stayed #1 for something like 10 years. So, when we put Dessalines, see, Dessalines inspires singers, it inspires artists, poets, writers, painters. Everybody is inspired by him all over the world. And as we gather information, we gather productions, artistic productions. Like this painting or drawing, I don't know exactly. I think it's a electronically concocted thing, but that's more and more of our young people will be producing their perception of Dessalines. And yes, some will be doing a Dessalines that's 12 years old and 5 years old and 48. We can't go beyond that because that's when he stopped in the body and went back to eternity. And it's that energy, that eternal energy, that cannot be erased. No murderer, no nobody can eliminate that. And that's why we can be in touch with that energy of vision, discipline, power, justice. You imagine striking in 1803 what was considered the most ferocious army in the world. We have to understand that. And he had as a practice, if the army is coming to him with 10,000 troops, he has 10,000, he put 4,000 to rest. He says, no, we're going to whip him with 6,000. We're going to whip him with 7,000. He always take fewer guys. He said, when they are fewer, they fight better. They're more determined to get to victory. That's the way we have to think. Whenever we are in any kind of situation, we have to look at how do we win with all the disadvantages. Ogu badagri pal balilaria sojame badagri pal balilaria sojame. Yes, Dessalines is in you. Recognize him. Don't be afraid of him. And then when you see that you behave in a way that's not just, correct it. He's very good at apologizing. He's very good at complimenting. After the Battle of Vertières, Dessalines said, ils étaient tous des dieux. They were all gods. Wow, you should see what this one did, and this one, and Capua, and that one. Each one they were just gods on there. So he's not afraid to call them God. Why should I be afraid to call you God, goddess? Well, yes, Dessalines lives in you. Dessalines is with you. And that we're going to see in the Q&A who is assuming their Dessalines energy. Who has built it and who is assuming it with the questions that you will be asking. We'll come to know. So remember, our theme today is, yes, we're celebrating the life, the accomplishments of an ancestor, but with the purpose of connecting and collecting all the talents and power that this ancestor built during his lifetime and holds today in the energy world. So, question: is it true that the Haitian revolutionary used tunnels as tactics to surprise the enemy during the revolution? Well, every single means was necessary. Whatever we have, I don't know what, if you mean tunnels, built tunnels. I don't believe we had any built tunnels, but we did have caves, and we had, some of them had great knowledge of how you can get into a cave in this town and come out of that cave in this other town. So we did have that. We have a great knowledge of the territory, the mountains, the rivers, the lakes, the forest. All of that was used as weapon during the revolution. Nothing was left aside. Everything. Disguise. You take a woman like Marie-Jeanne, her specialty was that she would disguise anyone. Herself, she could show up as a 18-year-old white woman in front of you at 10, and then at 12 you meet her again and she's some dark-skinned black man, almost toothless. So we used everything. We didn't have the weaponry that the enemy had, but we had a brilliant mind, a free mind that didn't have any problem imagining other things, other ways. We would use calabash trees, cut them a certain way, put gunpowder in the calabash tree, and then seal it, put it back on the tree. So when the next people come with horses, bloop, 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 walking under that tree, then the calabash would become our bombs. So it's your imagination. You still have that power. You can figure things out. You can outsmart your enemies. But you have to first believe in yourself. You have to take yourself seriously. Pas gan yon pa ka fe. Si imagination ou serva ki imagination correctement, ou gen zam pou goumen dans toute situation. Yon nan bagay zanset nou yo te fe, se pran kalbas, dekoupe l, mette poud kanon la dan, epi l'anme qui vient après à passer en bas pied bois ça, vibration yo bay là a fait toute calebasse éclater. Donc, on moun gen doit dire ah oui, ça c'est vaudou, il fait magie. Bon. Peut-être te gen magie la donne tout, pas connait. Mais yon pile bagay pratique nous ka fait, nous kon fait si nous pensons en liberté. Si nous pas limiter nous, c'est ça yo dit nous qui ka fait, c'est celle ça nous ouais qui ka fait. L'autre question. How did the Haitian military obtain uniforms and weapons? Well, the first store was the battlefield. You go to battle. In fact, they used to call us l'armée des sans-culottes. Ça veut dire, that means the army with no pants. So whatever way we were on the field, on the plantation, under the Euro-Christian slavery system, we would go out that way. So sometimes it's just a piece of cloth covering our private parts. But after the battle, we all could get dressed. We go on the dead that are on the ground. We pick the boots that will fit us, that will be good for us. We take the jacket, the pants, whatever, and we would dress up. So that's the first way that we got uniforms. The first store was on the battlefield. Next question. No more questions, so we could close down and go away. Shut down early. Is it true that the Haitian revolutionary used tunnels as tactics to surprise? Well, we talked, this question was asked before, and we said, I'm unaware that we had built any tunnels, but we do have caves, and we sometimes use the caves to move from one point to the other. Would you say that based on this remarkable defeat in 1804, that all the Haiti is sacred land? Well, that will, each person would have to appreciate that for themselves. As far as I'm concerned, it's not the revolution that made Haiti a sacred land. When you study Haiti's history for the past 2,000 to 3,000 years, and you know that at some point, no one could step on that island except if you had a spiritual gift and a spiritual wish. So people could not just come for coming. If you're coming, you have a spiritual purpose. So Haiti is a sacred land for me, but not from the revolution. It's been that way a long time. Any literary work on the herbs that were used to unalive the oppressor? Oh, I do not know. I have no clue of literary work. We know that a revolutionary like Macandal, he used plants a great deal for everything that he used to do. But I don't know that someone has been able to put much of this work on paper. But I will add also, see, we have a very Euro-Christianized perception of the relationship of humans and plants, humans and water, humans and earth, humans and sun and all the planets and whatnot. You see, in the African perception, we are one family. See, we have a song in Haiti. La reine soleil levé, oh bon Dieu voyez l'aller. La reine soleil levé, oh bon Dieu voyez l'aller. Ti moun li o crié, oh bon Dieu voyez l'aller. So this song is telling us we perceive the sun as Queen Mother, and we are the children of the sun. So the sun is not a thing. That's why when I'm writing, for example, I will never say sun and write it with a small s. When I say sun, I wouldn't write my mother's name with a small s. I put a capital S. I put a capital A for ancestors. I put, si m'a écrit en haïtien, eh bien, pas mettez ancêtres avec petit z, mettez gros z pour ancêtres. Mettez gros S pour sun. So the other life forms, we conceive them as our family members. We are part of one family. That's why we could not conceive of racism, of declaring another people no good. That couldn't happen in our way of looking. We don't even think that about animals. We think lions and tigers and mosquitoes, they all have their work to do to maintain our planet. We all are functioning to maintain the cosmos. So we wouldn't have a situation where we think, oh my goodness, no, ça pas bon, ça c'est job, ça c'est... No. So being that our perception of the various life forms is thwarted, twisted, derailed. So we have a very strange way that we deal with plants. Plants, for example, we wouldn't dream of pulling a plant out and throwing it away, much less go into a forest and destroy the whole forest. Never. Because we know everything that exists has a function in keeping the cosmos alive. So we wouldn't dare just tear things up. Any kind of life form. And plants, even more so, because plants, in the Congo, for example, plants are referred to as the pipes that takes from the earth what we need and bring it out the earth. So when you take a basil leaf or any leaf, you make some tea, it is a medicine that the earth itself has produced for you. So if we see a plant and we don't know exactly what it does, we wouldn't dare of tearing it up and destroying it. So our relationship is very, very different. Sachant que les personnes d'ascendance africaine captives sur le territoire français appelé Saint-Domingue, une colonie, se sont battues le 18 novembre 1803, ont pris leur indépendance, l'ont déclaré et ont rédigé une constitution le 20 mai 1805 affirmant leur souveraineté et leur nationalité. Est-ce que l'assassinat de l'empereur Jean-Jacques Dessalines le 17 octobre 1806 affecte la validité des documents officiels établis sur son règne? Le fait que d'autres pays n'aient pas reconnu cette indépendance a-t-il un impact sur sa légitimité, sur la légitimité de ces documents? Mon opinion, absolument pas. Okay. Premièrement, est-ce qu'on est clair? Oh, oui, est-on clair sur le fait que l'esclavage, en dépit du fait que l'euro-chrétien, dans son livre saint, dit que c'est une bonne chose, dit que Dieu dit qu'il faut être esclave et il faut respecter son maître? Moi, je dis que non. Je dis que toute forme de vie a droit à la liberté, la santé, la prospérité et le pouvoir. Donc, lorsque donc un système illégal sur notre planète, donc le travail que les révolutionnaires haïtiens, ils ne sont pas les seuls, beaucoup ont essayé. Haïti, la grande différence, c'est que Haïti a été plus loin, pas seulement à écraser l'ennemi, mais à déclarer son pays. Et attention, la Constitution ne dit pas on prend l'indépendance de la France. Non, chérie. Nous avons dit que nous déclarons être libres, souverains et indépendants de toute force de l'univers. Donc, les petits koyoyo là, France, Espagne, machin chouette, qu'ils acceptent pas, ça c'est leur problème. Le drame, c'est que après la mort de l'empereur, après la mort du roi qui avait la même philosophie, les entités bizarres qui sont devenus dirigeants ne savaient pas ce que c'était que liberté, santé, prospérité, pouvoir. Ils pensaient que si moi, je suis libre, moi, je suis prospère, moi, je peux faire du tort aux autres, c'est ça le pouvoir. Non. Liberté, santé, prospérité, pouvoir, le pouvoir est toujours collectif. Même quelqu'un qui prend de la drogue, qui drive, qui n'a pas de maison, qui dort au bord de la route aux États-Unis, Il arrive n'importe où, il donne un papier qui dit il est états-unien. Il aura un respect parce qu'il va profiter du pouvoir, perception de pouvoir collectif des États-Unis. C'est pourquoi ces gens-là travaillent toujours pour défaire le pouvoir collectif dans nos pays, mettre des pantins à la tête de nos pays, et ainsi ils peuvent faire ce qu'ils veulent. Parce que le pouvoir collectif est endommagé, abîmé. La même chose, ils font avec la prospérité. Pourquoi les Clinton, ils étaient déjà riches? Pourquoi ils ont volé tout l'argent qui était mis disponible pour Haïti après le tremblement de terre? Ce n'est pas parce qu'ils en avaient besoin. C'était pour empêcher que le peuple haïtien puisse bénéficier d'une quelconque prospérité. Non, nous devons regarder les choses en profondeur. Question. What Jean-Jacques Dessalines' position toward Christianity, and why did he allow priests and other forms of religious practices to remain in Haiti, despite the potential risk that foreign religions could impose the new mental cultural slavery on the Haitian and Black population? Well, the first thing I would say is that he said, okay, people can practice religion that they want, but the state will not give you one dime. Okay. Knowing that religion is a business, if they don't get any money, they're not going to make much effort and they're not going to thrive in that spot. So that's why, even though, and at the same time, in respecting the principle of liberty, he enabled them to go ahead and do what they want to do. But he also knew that they had very little chance of succeeding, and they did not show much success during both the empire and the kingdom. In fact, religion didn't start really taking big in Haiti until government start financing it. Every priest has a check from the Ministry of Education. Every this has that. They get land. They get all kind of, And then again, we must also take into consideration when I come from, you see, actually, the minute we agreed to sign to come into an agreement, here we are, 1804, we are independent, we declare it to the universe. Done. We have Dessalines, who worked mostly on the empire of Haiti, mostly worked on freedom. The kingdom of Haiti, the concentration was prosperity and health. That government built several hundred schools and hospitals, and people were working good salaries, etc. So they worked on prosperity. Now, after the death of King Henry, we come into these weird folks, the Pétions and the Boyers, who are begging on a personal level, begging the white men to recognize the white man who was their father, who never recognized them, to recognize them, on the one hand. On the second hand, begging France to recognize Haiti, ready to pay for it. So a total mental, the two mental structures are totally different. The kingdom and the empire, and then the republic. Once you are begging, you are free. You have your independence. You've been having it. You've had it 1904, 1960. So 56 years later, you're going to sign an agreement with the Vatican. Of course, the Vatican's going to put his stuff in it. Article 12 says the church has monopoly over public instruction. What does that mean? So that means the government, the church has monopoly, the government cannot decide what Haitian children will learn. So the de-Haitianization of Haitians began in 1956. Okay? C'est côté nous signer concordat avec Vatican, c'est là nous pral signon un article 12 qui dit l'Église a monopole instruction publique, donc l'État va gen dit qui ça ti moun nou pral apprendre, c'est l'Église qui a décidé. Et à partir de là, ou pral défaite toute haïtianité dans l'école ça, li défaite li font haïtien pas haïtien encore haïtien 1803, yo pral prendre toute année ça yo pour y a défaite li. Question. My question reflection concerns the role of language of Creole in the work of Dessalines, in our work against down oppressors, in the survival of Haiti and Africans as a nation. Word, sound, po. Or power is of great significance to me and the Rastafari. What are your perspective on the role of language in the fight? How important was it to Dessalines? Okay, I'll start with the second question. So important to Dessalines, he always spoke Haitian in every official situation. He had a translator. Even though he spoke fluently English, Spanish, Yoruba, and several other languages. But he never would speak French to the French translator. So obviously he's showing us the importance. As a whole, I would say, of course, the language is is the boat, the bag that carries the culture, that transport your culture from one generation to the next. So if you do not have any control over your language, or if you are forced to learn somebody else's, an oppressor's tongue, then you lose a great deal. And I believe that three elements concorded to the success of Haiti's revolution. We had already created our own cosmic view, voodoo. We had our own perception of the cosmos. Two, we already had practices that were our own. And three, we had our own tongue. Those three elements were three weapons that helped to bring us to victory. Have we lost our natural ties and energy with the universe? Nothing is ever lost. Everything is always. You eat a mango, you take the mango seed, and you, after eating the mango, you toss the mango seed in the yard. The rain comes, the sun comes, the different activities in the yard buries that mango seed, and before long, you have another mango tree. Nothing is ever lost. But things, even we take life, the vitality I had at 30, I don't have it today at 76. But I'm discovering more and more I can build my vitality too by being more careful what I put in my mouth, what I think, what I say, and what I do with my body. So I have begun to cultivate my vitality more and more. I don't care to live a long time, but I want to live healthy. And even though I'm a goat by nature, that's what we call people who don't drink much water, I am cultivating myself to drink more. So nothing is ever lost, especially in matter of energy. It could thin out or grow, but it's always present. Cultivate what you think is lost, and you will be surprised. Question: how can decolonize our minds and get back in touch with our ancestry and descendants of Haiti? Well, first step is artistry. That's the first string that you need to connect. No, I'm sorry. Let me start a little bit closer. Start in your family. Do you know your father and mother's name? Do you know your 4 grandparents' names? Do you know your 8 great grandparents' names? Start there. And study the artistry. Ask question. Every time you have, somebody says, oh, Dessalines, blah, 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 blah. Was he married? What was the name of his wife? Uh-huh. Did he have any children? Did he have any brother, sister? Okay. Don't take just what they give you. Question. Question everything. And you will see the artistry just blossom in front of you. Okay. Donc, pour décoloniser cervelle nous, faut commencer retirer fatra colon mette là-dedans. To decolonize, we must begin by eliminating the dirt, the garbage that colonization has placed in our mind. Because if your mind is full of the garbage of colonization, you have no place to accept the new information. So, gotta clean up first. Oh, badagri poil bale la ria, so jemme, badagri poil bale la ria, so jemme. Yeah, you must clean up. Too many things we take for granted because he said it. Anytime the Euro-Christian press, the Euro-Christian politics, the Euro-Christian whatever, spit out something, we take it as the word of God. Stop. And the stuff that's already there that you've been learning since you were little. I remember my mother being very vexed because I went to a funeral of a member dressed in white. Everybody wasn't black. Why are you not wearing black? I said, I'm a black woman. Why would I wear black in a sad day? So that's the kind of thing we have to think. Why? Why? And then when I do the research about black using in funerals, I'm going to find out that actually it's purple, the funeral for Catholics, the funeral color. It's starting in the 16th century when they're doing slavery. That's when they switch it. They try to switch it. But look, black cars for important people, excuse me, etc., etc. So in galas, in this and that, black is actually the color of power, the color of wisdom, the color of knowledge. So use it as such. What do you say about the impact of Haitian Revolution worldwide, especially in South America? Fraternal hugs from Brazil. Thank you. We received the fraternal hugs from Brazil and we send back fraternal hugs to our Brazilian families. Well, the impact of the revolution, as we see, it was, well, when Miranda from Ecuador ran into problem in 1805, he came to Haiti. And the government of Dessalines, he had several people wounded, took care of all the people wounded, and then gave him new boats, money, people, weapons, and tell him, go continue the liberation. How will I pay you back? Dessalines say, if you free people who are enchained, then I'm repaid. That's it. Now, 2-3 years later, Bolivar came back to Haiti when he had been run through all these nonsense with Euro-Christian folks, and Haiti gave to Bolivar money, boats, people, weapons, fighters, to go and continue the fight. And Bolivar was successful in liberating several South American countries. So that domino effect continued to other countries. That's how come the Haitian Revolution affected the country like Brazil. But it didn't stop there. When Greece was in trouble, IT provided tons of coffee to the government at one point to tell the government, no, they had famine, they were in a terrible famine. IT sent coffee. So Greece, well, the Greek government would sell and feed the people. When the Greek were fighting against their government, IT sent them help in the revolution, to in their fight. So IT is not just, okay, I'm gonna make my freedom and I'm gonna take care of my little business and I'm not gonna look at it. No. We are concerned, an Haitian is somebody who knows we are attached to the planetary family. And if somebody is in trouble, like right now, our people in the Congo needs help. Our people in Sudan needs help. We need to figure out the right vision and strategy how to come to their aid. So that's the natural Haitian way of doing things. C'est comme ça Haïtien yé, quel que soit côté le temps de un tel gen problème. La déplacer, la voyer ça besoin. Même Dessalines te dit on le temps de te gon problème Martinique, li dit oui pour que ça me pas gen bateau pour me te ka aller l'autre bois aller aider yo dans Martinique. C'est comme ça nous yé. Liberté c'est premier essence en haïtien. Soit tout pisi moun ou pas vle moun vivre bien bon koto, c'est qu'on pas haïtien. How crucial was the role of the Black Pig and the Lumbee in the Haitian Revolution? Well, the Black Pig is the pig that was most popular, most populated on the island, and it's used for everything. And it's connected to Ezili Danto. That is supposed to be one of her favorite meal. So for a lot of reasons, so the Black pig is very much appreciated, has been appreciated from day one till today. Now the Lumbee is the conch, is what we sound to assemble. When we hear the Lumbee blowing, we know it's time to connect, to come together. Whereas the drum is the heartbeat. It keeps us going. Once we stop walking, then the drum will keep us going. But the Lumbee says, come, come, come. We have to come together now. That's what their basic use is. Do we have any more questions? Now that's very good today. I really feel that people are truly celebrating, because celebrate means gathering information, collecting information, and seeing that information not as something to go blah, 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 someplace else to repeat, but putting it inside, in our heart, in our soul, and looking at how do I fit this into my life? When you do something, ask yourself, in this situation between me and Dr. Ya, I have to question, Baina, did you judge? Did you handle Dr. Ya with justice? Did you not block her right to freedom? And she must do the same thing. Did I keep Professor Baina Bello from? Did I keep Mama Bello from this or that? Did I hinder her freedom, or did I? You have to question, because our true nature, freedom, health, Remember, I say health. If I say health, it's the same as justice. If I say justice, it's equal to health. Whether I say health or justice, and number two, same thing. Prosperity, power. You need the freedom to determine what will happen. And if you have true freedom, you produce the food your people need to eat. And then that production, all the production that goes with agriculture and culture, brings you into prosperity. You handle your economy properly, then your population should be prosperous. Not a few people, not 3 billionaires, 5 trillionaires. It's about our people being comfortable, living comfortably, prosperity. And with that, we can build power. The song Mama Bello is singing and others, where we can find them. Well, I believe one of the banners gives you an email address. Use the email address and we will gladly share, and you send a request that I would like to have this or that. All right. You have websites. Okay. And like we say, we're sharing words, but we also have to build prosperity. So don't say what you have is too small. We share what we got. When we put it together, we could do a lot of great things. You imagine that the past couple of years, foreigners have put a situation in Haiti, put a lot of guns into the hands of people who have nothing, put drugs, etc., and create what they call gangs. And then they give instructions for these people to invade entire neighborhoods. And so when a woman or man, 100, 105, 110, who's been living somewhere 60 years, have to now run away from that home, they're not even knowing where they're going to go. They were already struggling in a stable space, but now they have to run. Even people with homes, with very decent homes, sometimes are forced to run away from their home. But it's particularly harsh on people that are 100 and plus. So we really need to help the elderly that are in drastic situations. We're counting on you to send us the energy, the financial energy that is needed for us to be able to do what has to be done. And we say thank you in advance. Questions. Dessalines' original flag of the country was black and red. Does this eliminate the false tales of Catherine Flon sowing the... No, it's not eliminating. Catherine Flon was chosen to come up with our first flag. She created a commission of 9 people. They met and agreed on black and red vertical. And she presented that vertical black and red on May 18 to the État Major, to the head of the army in Mirot, in a Congress in Mirot. So they just twisted it a little bit, switched the black and red for blue and red to stay closer to France, etc., etc. But it's not that, a lie is always an affected truth. There's always some kind of truth there. So you have to look very closely and ask a lot of questions to figure things out. Yes, he did rip the white from the French flag on February 2nd, 1802 on the battlefield. But he did not say, this is the flag. He just said, this, he when he tore off the white part, in fact, the red part came out with it. He tossed that away and said, the way I'm tearing up this flag now, that's the way I'm going to tear off that colony. And then he called Clairvaux and asked him to set up a commission that will choose our colors. So, yeah, again, some truth is there. We have to figure it out. Where were, given the suffering we have endured under oppression, is it a betrayal toward our ancestors for Black people to adopt the religion, custom, and traditions of the oppressors? I think you can answer that question yourself. It's a beautifully asked question, and you know the answer. And each one of us know the answer. A Black person remains faithful to their own heritage and identity. Of course. Can an ant become a rat? Can a mouse become a dog? Can a cat become a tiger? Given the suffering, we've seen that. Were our ancestors Muslim, and what is the connection with voodoo? There were very, very few Muslims captive during that period. One of the reasons they give is that often the Muslim would kill himself, so they didn't make the profit they wanted to. So very few Muslims came to Haiti, but a couple did. And the only connection I know is Bookman Duty, who came from Jamaica as a young boy. He was sold away to punish his mom, sold to Saint-Domingue, but he had a little Quran attached to he was hiding Quran in his clothing. And ultimately they found the Quran, burn it on him with him. So he had a whole side that was burnt. And later he became a voodoo Ungan. He became a Ungan. So I tend to believe that some of the words, Arabic words that we may find in certain things, probably comes from that connection. Can you please elaborate on Toussaint Louverture? My dad claimed he is not even Haitian. Well, none of us are Haitian, we could say, at a certain point. Since we were, for the most part, kidnapped from the African continent, brought into the colony of Saint-Domingue, so Africans were brought here. Haiti was erased in a certain way, we could say, because when these people decide to take away the name Haiti and replace it with a stupid Hispaniola, that means nothing to the land. So what were we? We are Africans brought to Hispaniola, so we're now Hispaniolian, right? And then later on, they're gonna make one side Saint-Domingue. We are now Dominguez. And then down the road, it's gonna become Haiti. It's not become, it's gonna return to the original name Haiti. So then we are Haitians. But up until, so in a certain way, when people say Toussaint is not Haitian, well, yes, because when he died, Haiti didn't exist, did not return as the official name of the island. Okay, it had to wait for 1804 for Haiti, for the name of the island to become officially Haiti again. So even Dessalines was not Haitian in 1802 because the island was not called Haiti then. So, But if we look at things, we have to look in a more essential way. Toussaint fought hoping to eventually create a country. He had a different philosophy and different methodology than Dessalines. But I think they both had the same ultimate purpose, goal. So I wouldn't say. Now, Toussaint also have the advantage, from what I understand, my research has shown that Toussaint was born in Alada in Benin. But then, like all Africans, born on the continent. So does that make him not be Haitian? I don't think it's about not being. I am full-fledged Haitian and full-fledged African. I don't deny any of it. And I know the base of my Haitianness is rooted in African culture. So it all depends on how you want to look at things. Greetings, Empress. I have heard that Catherine Flon, daughter of the Emperor Dessalines. No, I don't have that information. Now, here's my position on things like this. Our history has been tempered with, hidden, deformed, etc., by the oppressor. Today, many of us are searching and trying to reconstruct. So I would never say to a question like that, oh no, that's not possible, that's in it. No, I don't know. My research has not shown me that. I don't know on what basis the person who says this says it. So I would not deny, but I will say that my research has not brought me there. And it's studying 200 years of our history, when you're only 76, I'm only a little girl, and I only have 40 years of research. That's nothing. If you're talking about what the Euro-Christians are doing, for example, the Catholic Church, that's 2,000 years of existence. And they have been creating history for the world for that long. So if today I uncover one little thing, I am not going to take it for it. I will say this is what my research has brought me to. And I will continue to search for greater, deeper, more essential truth. The oppressors lately have been poking at us in every way. Not lately, they've always been doing that. Do you think they realize Dessalines is wanting to step up in round 2 and want to keep him down and out? You know the answer. You know. If they could right now, if they suspect, remember how they tell the story in their own Bible that when Nero was told that a child was going to be born, blah, 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 blah. So he went around killing all the first sons, and that's their regular behavior. You already know it. That's what they do all the time in every situation. Okay? So I am sure you can give a much better answer than me. Because you see, whenever we ask a question, the answer is already sitting inside of us. How was Bookman connected to Dessalines and the legacy of Haitian Caribbean Revolution? Well, Bookman is his time was 1792. He's gonna end in 1792. Dessalines is probably sneaking around at night trying to get to this or that, but not yet an established personality. So very unlikely that they, and the place is a big place. Very unlikely that they had met, but very certain that people did not stop telling what Bookman did to Dessalines. So he knew about him, and he knew that he should carry on in the footsteps. That's the way I see it. And those who took the front lines and left their footprints for us, we must not just study them, but study them so that we are able to walk in their footsteps. See, bookman duty is the man, the bookman. In English, no need to explanation. Bookman, the man of the book. And what do we know about him? A text where he tells us our identity. You are children of the divine. He will help you, but you must work to free yourself. That's the book he left for us. We must study it and draw from it everything we can and apply what we learn in our daily life. That's the legacy, what they left. How can we create the next wave of soldiers that would follow momentum of Dessalines? In my understanding, the first thing is, we said it before, we have to cleanse ourselves of all the Euro-Christian data, perception, definitions. We have a lot of garbage in. We got to cleanse. It's a must. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. We have to admit, we went to the enemy's church, we went to the enemy's mosque, we went to the enemy's school. So when I stand before you and say, yeah, I have a degree in this and a degree in that, degree in this, degree in that, according to the enemy's perception, methodology, decisions. Okay? It's like right now. Everybody's talking about, oh, the West did the West. What's the West? The West means nothing. Why should I use the West if I want to talk about Euro-Christians? If I want to talk about the white man, I gotta say that. That everybody is clear. When you say the West, if I'm in Haiti, I am on the west side of the island. So does that make me a Westerner? Please. Jamaica has a west and an east and a north. The US has a west and a north and an east and a south. So the West means nothing, but that's a tactic for hiding. After creating and using and benefiting from being the white man, the European, the this, the that, everywhere, now that we're starting to see them for what they are, they switch up. Oh, don't call us the white man anymore. Now we are the West. You in the West with us, so you and I, we're the same. No, I am not buying. Okay? So we have to be very careful that his ideas are in our heads. His perception are in our heads. We must clean that up. We can't take the African culture and put it onto this. We can't claim to want to be Kemet or nous voulons être africains, panafricanistes, mais avec les règles et la philosophie euro-chrétienne. No, ça ne marche. It won't work. We have to do the cleansing first. Remove a lot of garbage. Redefine things for yourself. Not long ago, I was in a structure where people were talking about Black supremacy. Black supremacy. And I said, what does it mean? I don't know. Say, oh yeah, Black supremacy because Black people are this, Black people are that. I said, I'm sorry. I'll have to think about it. I took a couple of weeks and I questioned the whole expression. I said, blacks, okay, yes, we are powerful. We get into any sports, we win. We get into any structure, we win. We are very, yes, that's true. C'est vrai, noir, tout côté n'allait, nous fait merveille. C'est vrai. Mais l'on dit white supremacy. M'a parlé d'un système qui campait là pour imposer. N'importe qui mentit, vle d'où ça, c'est vérité ou valil. Est-ce que m'a dit gon black supremacy? No. For me, we don't have that. We could talk, we have to come up with something. The same thing when I'm hearing people say, oh, we need to create the United States of Africa. No, why the United States of Africa? Think of something your own. Don't copy. Don't copy paste. You are divine. You can think, you can create, you can invent. That's your nature. You have that freedom. Use it. Don't take what's already there. And that's creating havoc on our planet. Well, I think we are at the end. I really, really appreciate all the questions. Oh boy, we had a thinking audience. Sister Dr. Ya, thank you for handling the Zoom and doing a great job in putting a lot of things out for us. Everyone that's helping, I know that Verona also did a lot of mobilizing. And of course, Claudia and Kwesi there's nothing, even if we had 10 million, we wouldn't have enough to pay them. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And you, the audience, you who followed, you who came on the live, you who were on the Zoom, you who were everywhere, we say thank you so very much from the bottom of our heart. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your questions. And thank you for the support that you will give us today and every time. Thank you very much. Nous dit merci tout le monde qui t'a suivi, monde qui était dans Zoom, monde qui t'a travaillé quand le docteur Ya qui t'a occupé à faire Zoom, tout l'autre monde en Verona depuis l'Angleterre qui t'a baillé coup de main tout, Claudia avec aussi, bon par contre ça vous me dire encore mon ça yo passé nuit, mais nous à 11h10 soir nous dans réunion, minuit, yo pas gain l'air, yo pas gain bail, yo travail dit. Et tout le monde dit oui, Baïna, mais c'est pas Baïna. C'est moun sa yo qui crée toute structure belle, encadrement, qui j'en belle femme. Hein? Ça nous dit dans ça. C'est travail quoi si, c'est pas moi. Moi, c'est chita là seulement. Okay? Donc, nous apprécions. Et pendant nous là, dans la co-fondation, Getchlin, Emile, Samus, Jessica, Chrisnet, tout l'autre yo fait manger, yo nettoyer, yo décorer, yo inviter, yo mettre musique, yo fait moun danser, yo fêter papa yo. Pendant nous même nous t'a fait, yo parler tout, yo discuter tout, yo fait une discussion. Même si nous pas capable porter nous porter petit morceau ou te ouais tout à l'heure, tu vas écouter petit moun yo t'a danser, mais nous bon un petit goût de ça qui a passé dans la cour fondation hein? Et puis nous remercier tout le monde qui t'a fait ça arriver, Jeanne Jean, Jedda, Marlène, moun qui t'a fait manger, moun qui a couru acheter, monter descendre dans le marché. Tout ça nous t'éveille. Tout ça qui fait c'est grâce à pile monde. Et à tout le monde ça nous dit merci. Nous dit merci pour les ancêtres qui guident nous dans le travail ça. Nous dit merci à Jaco. C'est comme ça famille te connaît l'elle petit monde et Jaco puis devant qui vient lieutenant Dessalines, colonel Dessalines, major Dessalines, général Jean-Jacques Dessalines, l'empereur Jacques, empereur Haïti, empire de la liberté. Attention, oui, c'est ça le marqué, oui, sous papier en tête. Li. Jacques, empereur premier d'Haïti, empire de la liberté. Jacques, premier empereur Haïti, qui c'est empire la liberté. Jacques, first emperor of Haiti, empire of freedom. That's what's on his letterhead. For everything you did, for everything you said, for every example you left for us, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Asante sana, nagode to everyone, those we see as well as those we don't see. Empower yourself. Be yourself. Close your eyes. Awaken the freedom, the health, the prosperity, the power that is sleeping in you. Thank you. Mali, I'm gone. Thank you. Take great care.
Dessalines, Cléon fort à nos mains déjà, va quitter nous tomber. Ou c'est vaillant garçon, l'autre li débagué canson, pays à nos mains déjà, va quitter nous tomber. Tout balai, maîtresse la balai, leader yo pas goûté. Yo monte descend galopement pays à pencher. Dessalines, Dessalines pas quitter la cour à tomber, ouais. Dessalines, ouais, pas quitter la cour à tomber, ouais. Empereur Dessalines, nous en bande déjà, va quitter nous tomber. Jeunesse la paraît, ça ne va pas avance.